Hi, fellow RTs. I'm your professor for teaching techniques for healthcare workers. My name is Julia Boot. I have a question for you. You have a new trach patient. You just received their trach a couple days ago. You've been caring for them. Now it's time to teach them how to take care of their trach. How do you do it? Or for you brave souls out there who teach kids and parents, you have a new asthma patient and you need to go and teach the patient, teach the parents about asthma. Here's a real fun one that I know many of my students and I have done once or twice. You have a room full of doctors, and you're the expert in the room going to teach about a specific new mode on your ventilator. Obviously, each of those audiences requires different ways to engage, different teaching techniques to reach that audience. Have you ever walked in to a patient's room to teach them everything there is to know about trach care, or a patient's room to teach them and their parents everything under the sun about asthma education or COPD? I have. I'll admit that I definitely was one early on, not just as an RT, but as a teacher, that thought the content and getting as much content possible to your learner was the most important thing, without any consideration of who the learner is, how well they can learn, how much content can a person actually take in. Do you guys recognize this book? How many of you are Egan people? How many of you are Hess people? My first go around teaching respiratory therapy, I thought I had to get through the entire book. Those poor students. That leads me to my first of 3 objectives for our course. That objective is that we are able to demonstrate an understanding of educational philosophies and learning styles that actually facilitate teaching. What I have described isn't necessarily teaching and definitely does not facilitate learning. Our second objective for teaching techniques class is to develop and implement different teaching techniques, both in a classroom setting, in a clinical setting, whether it's students or patients, and even in the community. Our third and final objective for this course is to explain the role of lesson plans as effective teaching tools. And in this course, we are going to develop a well-constructed plan. So check this out. This is the teaser of what's to come in this course. Over the next several weeks, you will develop a lesson plan. In your final culmination project, you will take that lesson plan and turn it into an advertisement or public health awareness poster, such as this one here. Each week, we'll take a next step in your lesson plan to create a thorough, in-depth lesson plan. That lesson plan will be a practical guide for you in the future to create lesson plans. And also, we'll do it in a way which hopefully is also practical to you right now. So that's our broad look at the course with our course objectives. For the rest of this overview video, I'm going to walk you through how to navigate the course shell, guide you to the necessary resources for teaching techniques, and then also at the end, help you in getting started. Let's take the tour. I'm in our Canvas page here, and I am in the Home tab, and you'll see in the Home is a great big green Start button. Our tour will begin at the Start button. The Start button is also a great place that if you get lost in our course shell, you can come back to the Start button, reset. On the home page, below the Start button, our course resources, APA, AMA help, YouTube and Google Docs help, and Boise State degree advancement program information. At the bottom of your home page are shortcuts to each of the weekly modules. There's 7 modules, 7 weeks. This is me. You can connect with me via my email, Also, I don't have official office hours. I am off campus, so please email me if you'd like to set up a virtual appointment. To navigate through the course, we'll go to the Next button. Your textbook, No Time to Teach, is a small and succinct read. There are 3 editions of No Time to Teach. The version that I am reading and providing pages for is the 2nd edition, so you may have to compare the table of contents there. Any of these 3 editions that you find will be good for the course. Here's important information regarding the drop deadline. Please visit this page if this is pertinent to you. The course overview. You've already made it this far. Here's the video you're watching. General course structure. In teaching techniques, you have weekly modules. There's 7 weeks and 7 modules. Each week will have assignments. Some weeks have discussion boards and quizzes, reading assignments. And throughout the 7 weeks, you will be building a lesson plan final project. This is a week-by-week look at your course. You should expect to put 2.5 to 3 hours of work into your course for the 3 credit hours. Again, we have 7 weeks and 7 modules. You'll have discussion boards throughout our course, starting in week 1. You can find your guidelines and examples here. You'll also find these guidelines in the directions for your discussion boards each week. Please review expectations. This is the final page through the Start button. When we continue on through the Next button, it's going to take us to our week 1 module. Here is page 1 of week 1. Another convenient way to reach page 1 of week 1. When we're back at our home page, scroll to the bottom of the home page, and you have quick access to each week or each module. A final way to access your modules is through the Modules tab here. This tab gives an outline of each module, and also here's the Getting Started, which was the green Start button we started at. This is also where you're going to find your course resources. If we scroll down past our 7 modules, here are your course resources. At the beginning of the tour on the home page, there was also an icon for course resources. This is where you'll find your syllabus, that link to your textbook, your academic calendar. And if we continue on down, we have our help pages that were also on the home page, AMA, APA, YouTube, Google Docs, which we'll be using both in this course, and finally, advanced program information. Let's go to week 1. Last part of this overview video is to get you started on the week 1 module. The first page for the module is an overall outline for the entire week. Here's your welcome and overall the goals for the week. Then underneath are the required tasks. To navigate through the module, you just go page by page, following the directions for each page. Every module is set up the same, with the page by page that outlines the content and the tasks that you need to accomplish for the week. So in this next page, we have our overview with the week 1 video. You have several short readings for week 1 on what it takes to be an outstanding teacher, starting with learning styles, where you actually take a self-assessment test, and continuing on with short PDFs on learning styles, and then on Bloom's taxonomy and writing good objectives. As promised, week 1 discussion board. The directions are here. along with the prompts you should be answering. You'll also do response posts. I have linked here discussion board requirements and examples that we took a peek at earlier. In purple are your due dates. Initial postings will be due Sunday night at midnight. This is for all discussion boards. Responses are due Tuesday at midnight. To add your text to the discussion board, you're going to click your reply button, and please type directly into the box given. After you've created your post, click reply, and there it is. We are using Google Docs for our assignments in this course. If you're unfamiliar on how to use Google Docs, this tutorial should help you out. This page also gives specific guidelines and expectations on how you will be using Google Docs for the course. A few things I'd really like to highlight. When you're using Google Docs, please adjust your sharing permissions so that I am able to edit your document. This is how I'll be grading your document and adding feedback for you is through that editing function. Another important factor is that actually you get graded on as well is how to name your document. You're going to put your last name and the week number you're on. So this week, it would be Abood week 1. The week 1 assignment is choosing and narrowing down a topic for your overall lesson plan that you will be building throughout the 7 weeks. What many of my students have done in the past is they've utilized a topic that they will be presenting in the near future within their hospital setting or to patients or students, something very practical in their own real world right now. For this particular assignment, you're simply going to click on this template tool. Here we are at the week 1 assignment. Notice you don't have editing access. That's on purpose. I actually really don't want you to edit my copy of this assignment. So what you're going to do, also we can see here if this is a shareable copy, we're going to file, we're going to go make a copy. Now we're going to name it appropriately. So this is week 1, so my last name, your last name, Abood week 1. Make a copy. Okay, now we have your own version that you are more than welcome and need to edit. The first page is directions for you to read through. The second page, we get to the templates. Here I've used a template for it to be a little more self-explanatory. You just fill out each aspect. At the far bottom, there's a sample for you to look at the template being completely filled out. Let me show you how to turn in your assignment. For me to be able to grade it and give you the feedback that you deserve, you are going to need to share this with me. Notice mine right now says it's private only to me. If you send it that way, I can't look at it, I can't grade it, I can't give you feedback. So please go into share. Couple ways you can do it. You can just add my email right here, juliabood@boisestate.edu, and be sure that you give me editing access, not just viewing, but editing, because I need to write directly on it to write you feedback for your future lesson plan assignments. Another way to share it, see this restricted, you can say anyone that has the link can, again, look at this, we're going to say edit, and then I say copy link. We go back to our Canvas page. We go to start assignment. Paste the URL that we just copied and submit. Woohoo! Final part for the assignment and for each assignment is looking at the bottom of the assignment page is your grading rubric. In addition to feedback comments that should help you with each of your future assignments for your lesson plan, I will be utilizing this grading rubric for your final grades on assignments. So this should really help you understand the expectations that I have for your assignment. I'd like you to turn your eyes here to a couple easy points. One is that you followed directions on how I've asked you to name it. And 2 is that you've submitted it appropriately. So those are real simple follow direction points for you. And through this page in week 1, I want you to please take note, it is a week 2 assignment. but it's something that's really helpful to get started on early. It's your introduction video. And it is due Thursday on week 2, but I placed it here so you can get a head start on it. Our final page for the week 1 module is our review. It's just reviews over the content that you have already worked your way through, so you can double check yourself, along with the tasks that you have completed. And then it links you back to them if you did miss something. Our next button is going to take us to the following week's module. So here, if we click on it, we get to week 2, and that is if it's ready and available for you to go to. Wrapping up the overview video, we've talked about our course objectives. I've given you the tour of the course and shown you resources, and hopefully you feel ready to get started with week 1. I'm looking forward to getting to know each of you and going through this coursework with you.